Why is it so expensive to be gay? This is an actual quote that came from a huge gay Facebook group. So, if you're one of the few LGBTQ folks who have lots of cash, which seems to be 95% of the people who comment on our YouTube videos and comment on TikTok, complaining about the cities that we talk about as being the affordable ones. These are the top 5 most expensive cities for you who are rich as fuck to check out.
All right, coming in at number 5 is Chula Vista, California, which is a suburb of San Diego. It has the highest rents on this particular list, an eye-popping $3,174 a month for your average 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. That is knuck and futz.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's tied for the highest cost of living on this particular list, coming in at 154.9% of the national average. It's hard for me to even get out of my mouth. Has the highest average incomes on this particular list at $74,000 per year. So I guess I don't know how you're covering your expenses if your rent is already that high at $3,100 a month, but more power to you all. The gay bar in Chula Vista to go to is called PEX. It's a low-key gay bar for LGBTQ people who love beer and pool. Those with balls, not with water.
All right, coming in at number 4 is another suburb of San Diego, and that is Oceanside, California. It has the highest home values on this list of 5, coming in at $810,000, almost double the national average. It also was tied for the highest cost of living, 154.9 with Chula Vista. It also has the highest median income for this list of 5, coming in at $57,000. Now, if you're saying, well, that's not very high, that's exactly why this ends up on the most expensive cities to live in, is because this is another city where even the median income is really, really low and your home values and rents are super high. If you are in Oceanside, BTW Oceanside is the local gay bar to hit up.
So you're listening to Queer Money episode, or watching Queer Money episode number 515. We're continuing our LGBTQ plus affordability list, covering all different shapes and sizes. And obviously this week we're covering the most unaffordable list. And this isn't to chastise those, to judge those who can afford to live in these locations. But what we think is ironic is those who can afford to live in these locations seem to be very judgmental of those who can't and have to choose maybe less desirable locations to live. So maybe some of us need to check our privilege a little bit. Last week, we covered the top 10 most affordable places for LGBTQ plus people to retire based off of a U.S. News and World Report list that came out a couple months ago. Particular facts about this list of 5 is that all of the cities on this particular list have a cost of living well above the national average. Unfortunately, in many cases, and maybe even all of them actually, the incomes don't seem to be commensurate with that cost of living. So I don't know how people are bridging the gap, but apparently people are more successfully than we are.
Living 7 to a 2-bedroom house or apartment, I guess.
I guess party house, right? I haven't done that since college. But then, of course, they all scored a 100 on the Human Rights Campaign's Municipal Equality Index.
The mission of Queer Money is to financially empower the LGBTQ plus community. Join us in thanking Capital One for supporting that mission. All right, coming in at number 3, Miami, Florida. Funny enough, Miami, Florida has the lowest cost of living on this list, and it comes in at 118.9% of the national average. So you're still almost 20% above the national average as the lowest one on this list. What is striking on this, and I think is probably one of the major contributors to the fact why Miami is considered unaffordable or expensive, is it has the lowest median incomes, coming in at $41,000 a year. It is ridiculously expensive there, and I don't know how you can afford to live, again, with an income of $41,000 or less. All the 50% of people who are less than that. It does rank high as one of the cities for LGBTQ singles. It also is a culturally and architecturally significant city. So there's a lot of things attracting people to Miami, but incomes don't seem to be one of them.
No, exactly. And we used to love Miami, but when we started getting things thrown at us, we stopped going
Yeah.
ourselves. Coming in number 2, so our runner-up position is Riverside, California. It has the lowest rents on this particular list of 5, coming in at $2,435 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. I just can't imagine. What is the highest mortgage we've ever paid?
Not anywhere near that.
No, I just I'm and a whack. Anyway, so the cost of living comes in at 131.2% of the national average. It has the lowest average incomes on this particular list as well, coming in at $58,000 a year. So if you're in the Riverside area, definitely check out riversidepride.org for more information on their Pride events, and they're all year-round events.
Worth noting, there were 455 cities that we did look at. We looked at all of the cities that we were able to pull from the rankings on HRC's Municipal Equality Index. Then all of the ones that we're talking about here, of course, have the cost of living that is above the national average. Only one of these cities has a home value that is below the home values that are below the national average. 2 of them have median incomes that are just barely above the national average, and all 5 have average incomes that are below the national average. So all of the cities in the top 25 that were listed as most expensive come from blue states, with the exception of 3, and those 3 cities are in Florida.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So of course we have some honorable mentions, and these are what we're going to share here now are those cities that we just tend to be more gravitate towards because we're LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 7 is Los Angeles, California. Number 10 is Hoboken, New Jersey. Number 18 is New York, New York. Number 21 is San Francisco, California. And number 23 is West Hollywood, California. So remember to smash that like and share button and let other LGBTQ plus folks know that the show exists and that we're creating these lists to help you become more financially comfortable.
Capital One Auto Navigator does more than just auto financing. We're here to help you find a car you love, too. Shop millions of cars from thousands of dealers nationwide. Research your favorite makes and models. Explore dealers near you and more. All on Auto Navigator.
All right, coming in at number 1, Cathedral City, California. If you're not familiar with Cathedral City is actually a suburb or a sister city to Palm Springs. The 2 are basically growing together. It does have the lowest home values on this list of top 5, coming in at $485,000, which is still above the national average. The cost of living coming in at 131.2% of the national average. It does have the second lowest median and average incomes, coming in at $42,000 and $59,000. That is, I think, one of the major drivers here. Again, we have really low incomes and really expensive properties, really expensive costs of living. Cathedral City actually used to be the LGBTQ hotspot in the Coachella Valley before Palm Springs basically took it over.
And it sounds like it's starting to have a revival.
I think there is, we were in Palm Springs several weeks ago, and there is some new building going on in Cathedral City, and it does look like it is considered to be one of the more affordable retirement options for individuals, especially if you're not having to work. If you don't have to work and you want to live in Southern California or Central California, this is probably one of the more affordable places. It is home to several gay bars, including 111 and Barracks. And it was really, as I mentioned before, it was kind of the attractor to the LGBT community before Palm Springs. So that means that there is a lot going on in this area for the LGBT community.
So what are your thoughts? Share them in the comments on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, or wherever you follow us. If you want to see all 455 cities that we analyzed for today's show, please go to queermoneypodcast.com/cities, and we'll be right back really shortly. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One, N.A., member FDIC.
Join us next Tuesday when we talk with financial advisor to some of the wealthiest families in America, Tim Volk, about some of the secrets of the uber rich.
Ooh.
And then next Thursday for coverage of the most affordable places to live for transgender folks.
If you'd like to see the data from this growing list that we're building through this entire series, please go to queermoneypodcast.com/cities, or click the link in your podcast player, or click the link right here if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you and have a great weekend.